Hi there, and welcome back to Black Women North of 50, a space we can get real about all kinds of stuff. I'm Wynn Helms, your host. Today, we're going to do a couple things. One is I'm introducing a new word, affirmattention. Affirmattention, defined, is the practice of declaring a positive truth into existence while taking consistent actions to enhance and strengthen that truth. Okay, so now I have to do one for today. Let me tell you what my affirmattention is for today. I declare that I am in an awesome season of my life, and I'm taking actions today to support that truth. Heavy load, particularly since I'm talking with Meta King, who, like me, is a Black woman north of 50 who's not married and doesn't have any children. Yeah, there are a bunch of us out there. I know it. It's just part of our journey. Not that we didn't want to be married, not that we didn't want to have children. It's just not what happened, which is really ironic given that I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, but that's a whole nother episode. I'll be warned here. I don't have children, human children. I do have furry children who may make their appearance known. So I apologize if they get in the way. Listen, thank you for being here. Stay with me. Let's continue on the journey. All right. Well, it's my pleasure to speak with Meta King, who is going to talk with me about a subject we're both familiar with, which is being north of 50, a Black woman, no kids, and no husband.
Yay!
And you know what? There is some yay in it.
Yes.
Tell me what it was like for you coming up. Did you think that you would end up being single with no kids? Or did you care? Or
Oh, no. I wanted definitely the house with the picket fence and the husband and the 3 kids. So,
3 kids?
3 kids, yes, because I came from a family of 3. So I thought that was a perfect combination. It was what I was used to. So, unfortunately, I did not come with the parents. I had parents, but they didn't stay together. So I think that's when the bubble burst.
How old were you when they divorced?
Very young. I was 3.
Okay.
Maybe 2. And my brother was a year. My sister was in my mother's arms.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember vividly when she left my father.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, it was just different. Very, very different.
And that means you were a preteen teen thinking about dating and your future. What was that like?
Well, my future my mother remarried her first husband, and then we had a stepfather. So that also broke my spirit about marriage and things. So, but teenage years, my mother was very strict. You're not going to a concert. You're not going to have a boyfriend, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, we'll see.
Wait till I get out of here.
Well, I didn't wait. I happened to meet my aunt knew the parents of my very first boyfriend. And so she vouched for him in the family. So it was all good.
Okay.
And then it went on from there. We dated and he danced with me on a show called Soul Train. And
never heard of it. That's so weird.
Yeah, I know. It's not very popular. At the time, it wasn't either. It was a brand new show. Nobody knew what this was. So,
Right.
What?
Right.
I mean, handstand was the thing. So, anyway, but Soul Train came up and it exposed me to concerts, entertainers, good people that I still have friendships with today, great dance partners, and lots of boyfriends. So,
I was going to say, did you stay with that one boyfriend?
I went to his prom. He went to mine. But alas, I think I was just ready to be grown.
Yeah.
I wanted to be in the fast lane, and I wanted to see the bright lights and all of that of
Well, you were seeing the bright lights, so you were in it
yes, I
and
was.
and probably wanted to explore more because
Yeah,
the life.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you that's correct, Wynn. I think, my curiosity peaked, and I just said, "I'm going for this," and, I did. So, it was interesting it was an interesting 20 years, I think, of being connected with, people, individuals, so forth. There wasn't a lot of dating because I immediately hooked up and, you know.
My cat is deciding she wants to be in the interview.
Oh, and so his Tucker's, like, right here. I'm, like, doing this on the bottom, and he's like, "No, I wanna be in." So he's
Oh,
right.
okay, very good. Just what did that guy say? Childless, uh,
Oh, cat.
cat with right. So, okay, guilty, whatever. Um,
Don't hate because you don't have any.
so anyway, so she's gonna be in and out probably. So I hope
And
that
so is Tucker. He's right
yeah.
here.
Okay, well, Tucker, you're welcome into the interview if you'd like to come in.
Uh
Did you live with your mother each time that she remarried? Did you stay with your
Oh,
mother?
yes, we were young. We were very young children.
When did your stepfather came into the picture,
Yes.
and was there any shift in your thinking about marriage and partnership with his relationship with your mom?
Yeah, I didn't want that. All I wanted to do was to just get out of Dodge,
Mhm.
get out of the house. Get
Sure. That sounds like a
Yeah.
teamwork.
My mother kept us connected with my father.
Uh-huh.
So we would visit him. I remember great visits with him and not so great visits. And so my whole image for marriage was very I remember telling my mother, "Oh, I want to be married. I want a wedding. I want, you know, the big to do." And she says, "You do?" And she couldn't really she didn't understand how I wanted that. I remember being a bride for Halloween when I was like 7 or 8, and I
Oh,
was,
wow. Mhm.
I was just the best. That's probably the only time I've worn a white dress and a veil was Halloween when I was about 8 or 9 and thought that was the cat's meow. Like I said, I grew up on Donna Reed, Father's Knows Best,
Right, right.
Dennis the Minute.
White house, white people, picket fence. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
He was my escape, Lucille Ball, Desi Arnaz. So,
we grew up on those kinds of images of a house, picket fence, mother,
yes,
father, kids,
yes,
and that got to be, I know for me, that was just kind of expected.
yeah.
And I remember being, it was New Year's Eve
Mm.
of my 20th year. And I thought, oh, wow, this is going to be the decade when I get married and have kids and all those things. And my mother says, well, not necessarily. And I thought, oh, okay. And her guidance was always take your time, find the right person
Mm.
kind of
Good
thing.
advice. Good advice.
And it was good advice. And I wonder what kinds of people in your life advised you when you were young.
Mm. When my interaction with my family was very my mother wasn't the greatest communicator, you know. She came from an era where
You didn't.
they didn't do that. They didn't talk about their feelings, they didn't talk about their emotions.
Mm-mm.
Her mom died when she was 18. Then she lost her dad after that. Her hustle was to work. She came from a small town in the South, in Louisiana, Shreveport, and got out of there and came to the big city, LA. And she had to make it happen. I mean, she worked in the Pentagon in Washington D.C. and she she was a very beautiful woman. So she was always welcomed, and, but she was tough. She was kinda hard, and, but God bless her, rest her soul, I miss her every day, and her sister, my aunt. My aunt was more inclined to give me good advice or advice about my life and what to do,
Mhm. You
more
talk
so than my aunt.
you
Yeah,
talk with you
yeah.
talk with her about marriage and guys and that kind of thing?
Yeah, because I was in Pasadena when I had the first boyfriend, and she's the one that vouched for the family, so we had a connection there, and then I moved back to the house with my mom and my siblings and stepfather, and then, went on Soul Train and started dancing, and then that was, like, a lot because it was, like, my thing to go to, and have a good time.
And it's you were thinking about Hollywood, you were not thinking about being a wife and mother at that point is my guess.
Yeah, things were moving very quickly. I was making commercials with Soul Train and the meeting the entertainers. So my life kind of became a product of being around entertainers and then pursuing my acting career and I was very attracted to musicians and actors. I
Of
really
course.
hung out with the crowd and loved that. And just it was great for
Yeah.
me. I enjoyed it. I have if I could do it again, I'd do it again. I
Mhm.
probably would do it differently, but I would do it again.
Well, yeah, I mean, with the experience we have now, we would do a
Yeah,
lot of things differently is my guess,
so true. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, yeah,
And not having kids,
yes.
I think about it sometimes,
Mhm,
what might have been like, and I made the right decision because I don't know that I was mother material,
mhm,
and I have my little collection of
mhm,
of young people that I have in my life now.
yes.
What is your take on being past motherhood age?
Mhm, mhm. Interesting because, we're in a time now where when we were growing up, only mothers had children.
Mm,
Now, you know, other women have children for mothers who can't. And when I'm speaking like of surrogate.
sure.
And so I think about that sometimes. I
Mhm.
think about how I did not have children physically, but because from being an entertainer, then going into education and being a teacher, I got a lot of kids. So I think I'm fulfilled in that way of having students that I taught and I see them, hear from them time from time. And then I guess having animals, pets. I've had 2 cats, 3 dogs in my
Mm,
lifetime.
very fulfilling.
Yeah, very. So they were my fur babies and they took a lot of time. I was pleased with that, but I don't have any regrets about not having children. I just wanted the perfect situation. I did not wanna be a single mom,
Mm,
and I had a girlfriend who was a single mom, and I saw how challenging it was. But as the years went on, being a single mom was very acceptable. So
oh,
it
yeah.
wasn't a big deal not to have a
It's
man.
taboo. Mm-mm.
Right. But I wanted that perfect fit. Like I
Uh,
said,
y yeah, that would be your first choice. Absolutely.
yes, yes. And I could have probably had a child, but just didn't want
Sure.
I did not want my child raised with one person.
And more to the point, here we are,
Mhm.
north of 50,
Mhm.
thinking
Very
about socializing, very north of 50. Mhm. And what are your thoughts about dating in the 21st century for women our age?
I'm hopeful. I feel though it is a challenge. It's a very huge challenge. For a long time, I didn't think it was possible that I could meet and be committed or in a relationship with someone. However, I still have hope. So I keep looking. I want organic meeting. That's how I want. I want an organic hookup. And one of these days, that organic hookup is going to work because I've had a few, but they just haven't clicked.
No, it wasn't right. you're organic by meeting someone through someone else or at an event, or is that what you mean by organic?
Yes, in the grocery store, at the car wash where met a gentleman and getting my car fixed. So you kind of go where men are, if you want to meet
Yeah, I
them.
I
I,
don't have many hobbies, and the
uh,
ones that I have are not that attractive to men.
okay.
So going out and meeting men it's an ordeal. It's a whole thing. And at this age, I'm not even sure where that would be, to be honest.
Yeah.
Car wash, clearly, mechanic.
Yes, and then also I think when the time is right for us, it will happen.
Oh, it won't.
I believe that.
Uh-huh.
I do think though we have to work a little harder
Mm.
because
Oh,
I didn't date early on in my life. I don't have those tools like some people have. My girlfriend and I were discussing that last Saturday night. We went out, we listened to some free jazz music. It was lovely. It was a lot of couples, all ages, sizes, shapes. A lot of single women walking around. That's what's out here. It's more women than men. So
so
it's a
many there's so many rules. And if you haven't been in the game for a while, and the rules change, uh, I
yeah.
know when we were in our 20s, I'm trying to think what the rules were then. They were changing even then in terms of, like you were saying, being a single mother was still a little taboo, but not. It was happening more. Divorce was happening more.
Mhm.
So traditional roles were changing. And I don't know what the roles are now, to be honest with you. I really don't.
There are no roles.
Maybe that's it.
That's it. There are no roles. I mean, people are just people, and people are being who they are and who they want to be. And I'm trying to be very accepting of that because I don't want to block my blessings. I mean, there were a plethora of men back in the day when we were in our 20s. It's not like that now.
Well,
You-
we're not. I'll speak for myself here, and maybe this is you too. I don't go out as much. I don't want to go out as much. I'm sort of a homebody anyway.
Mhm.
And like you, it'd be nice to meet someone organically,
Mhm.
but I'm gonna have to go to the house, out the house for that to happen.
Yeah. Maybe you don't have to get out because nobody's going to come to your door.
Could be the UPS man.
Yeah, okay. If that's who you want, there's nothing wrong with the UPS man because they look good.
You know what?
Yeah,
I figure anywhere you can find love, good for you. It just
absolutely.
doesn't happen all the time. And
No.
it doesn't feel as pressure filled now. Tell me how you are about this. When I was trying to decide, I
Mhm,
want your mom. Hmm.
mhm.
The thought of dating and being with someone felt like pressure. And I don't feel that pressure now. How about you?
I never felt pressured to
Mhm.
be a I might have pressured myself more, you know.
Mm.
Why don't I have why don't I have a child? Why didn't I? We could have, we would have. But, I don't feel as though I feel if it was for me to be married, if it was for me to have a child, it would have happened.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you
That's
on that.
how I look at it.
Yeah.
Mm,
And there were opportunities that didn't work.
mhm.
And now I'm glad. Wouldn't
Yes.
have been it wouldn't have been a good fit. And
No,
nobody goes into marriage wanting divorce,
no,
right?
no.
And the way things are now, and in my business, I'm hearing a lot of oh gosh, I'm gonna forget the word, polyamory
Mhm.
and non-traditional relationships, I guess
Mhm,
you could say.
mhm. Yes.
And I'm not sure about the Black community actually, where the Black community fits into that. What are your thoughts on traditional marriage versus another type of relationship that might include more than one person?
I don't try to judge, folks and find
Absolutely not. And
happiness.
a child is A child with a loving home, whether
Yeah.
it's one parent or two, is
Yes.
fortunate, in my opinion.
Yeah. So I'm a traditional person. I guess that's the main thing I could say. I'm open as long as no one's being hurt in a
Yeah.
relationship.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, shoot. Do you have any closing thoughts in
Yeah.
terms of
I
your
f
life? Mhm.
I feel like, I'm in my season, and I'm sure you're in your season because to do this podcast is very inspiring. It's
Oh,
very uplifting. It's necessary because there are a lot of Black women north of 50 that are valuable individuals,
mhm.
whether they are alone, married, grandparent, grandmom, whatever, but
Childless.
childless, dateless.
Right.
I'm still fulfilling myself and my needs.
And like
I'm
you said, that's whatever my journey is, that's my journey.
yes, because you're not gonna like me. I feel like you're not gonna wait around. You're
No.
gonna make your life full and happy and get the job done.
No.
And
Fair enough.
I think that might be something that can be a plus or a minus for Black women because Black women are very strong individuals. And I mean, I don't need a man. I'm gonna say it.
Mhm.
I would like a man, but I don't need a man. And I'm okay
Yeah.
with that.
And it wasn't always that way, I think, in our society.
Yeah, in our society, Black women were taught you do the right thing, you wanna have a husband, you wanna have some kids, you wanna have some security, blah, blah. Well, didn't work out. So
I remember my grandmother saying to me,
mm,
uh, you better hurry up. I was 21. But for her,
mhm.
in her time, that was, oh,
Oh, yeah.
to be looking for a man, right?
My
Uh,
God, yes. My grandmother had her 6 kids when she was, like, 13 or 14, maybe 15 years of age.
oh, bless her heart. Oh, my.
Yeah, bless her heart. Thank you for the opportunity to be on Black women north of 50.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Take care. Thank you again.
Thanks for sticking with me today, talking about dating. I mean, it's so much more difficult now than when I was in my 20s. However, for those of you who know what I'm talking about, please share a story, a sweet story, a funny story, awkward, unforgettable, whatever, from the past 10 years or so. So please leave a comment here on YouTube, or you can reach me at Wynn at blackwomennorthof50.com. Maybe your story will inspire someone or, spark some conversation or make a new connection with someone, who remembers what an 8-track player is. Can't wait to hear from you. See you next time.